Is Israel an apartheid state like South Africa? The UN, Nelson Mandela's ANC, several human rights organisations have all accused Israel of having apartheid policies. So what is apartheid in the first place? Most people know apartheid from Nelson Mandela and his fight against the apartheid government of South Africa. Apartheid was a policy in South Africa from 1948 to the early 90s and enforced racial segregation and discrimination against non-white citizens, particularly black Africans, limiting their rights and freedoms. One of the main arguments reflecting on Israel as an apartheid state is Israel's dual legal system in Gaza and the West Bank. There is civil law for Israeli settlers and military law for Palestinians. The second is the rules which allow Israelis and white people like me to walk and drive down certain roads where Palestinians and Arabs are not allowed. On my travels around the West Bank, I experienced the humiliating checkpoints, the fight for water in the town of Nabi Saleh. I felt like I was witnessing history walking through Hebron. It was embarrassing and horrific. I would strongly argue that yes, it is indeed apartheid with racist laws. So according to the International Criminal Court, apartheid is inhuman acts committed in the context of an institutionalized regime of systemic oppression and domination by one racial group over any other racial group and committed with the intention of maintaining that regime. Human Rights Watch in 2021 released a report which stated that the Israeli government engaged in systemic oppression of Palestinians and inhuman acts, which they concluded is apartheid. Amnesty the following year released its own report which stated that the government imposed a system of oppression and domination against the Palestinians, and that also qualifies as apartheid. B'Tselem, which is an Israeli human rights organization, also states that Israel is an apartheid state. On their website they even say Israel's regime of apartheid and occupation is inexplicably bound up in human rights violations. There's plenty of notable people who talk about Israel being an apartheid state. Mandela also had a soft spot for the Palestinian cause. This is what he said.
We identify with the PLO because just like ourselves, they are fighting for the right of self-determination.
Desmond Tutu was even on record saying that the apartheid in Israel and Palestine is worse than what they had in South Africa.
I have visited the occupied Palestinian territories and have witnessed the humiliation of Palestinians at Israeli military checkpoints.
What do you think? Do you think Israel is an apartheid state? Leave in the comments below.